Hello, my name is Abraham Klein, and today I want to speak about a subject called body positivity. And I hope this will only take a few minutes, but we'll see where that goes, I guess. I just want to say before I go a whole lot further that some of the themes that I speak of in this, um, some parents may not find them appropriate for their children to listen to, and not because I'll be saying necessarily anything that I believe is wrong, but they may not think that their child is old enough, excuse me, old enough to hear about these types of subjects. So just keep that in mind before you allow them to watch it. With that being said, as I said, I want to talk about body positivity. Now, this is something I've heard about my entire life. It's been something that has been stated in popular culture. It's been stated, even in unpopular culture, if that makes sense. When I was growing up, I was always, uh, you know, told that body positivity is a good thing, in that no one should ever feel ashamed in the body that they have. Obviously, there's some things about you can change. You can change your habits. You can change your attitude, but there's some things that are immutable about you. Like for me, I was born with a condition called cystic hygroma. I've got cysts on my body, all through my body, in fact, and many of them have been removed. But I still live with a lot of the scars and some of the protrusions that come out, especially like on my back and things like that. And the health consequences, the ramifications of many years of having it, have caused other things, such as me having the straight. And even though I had surgeries, I still have, these scars and physical malformations on my body and things like this on my hand, scars on my forehead, scars on my face, and many little things. And of course, this is mostly due to my own carelessness when I was a kid, but I also don't have very nice teeth. So I could live my entire life being very upset and frustrated with my body, or I could accept that these are things that I cannot necessarily change. And so that's what I've had to do. I'm also short, by the way. I'm not very tall. The average height for a man in the United States, I believe, is around 5'9". I'm 5'3", so I'm short, and that's okay. I accept that, you know. Uh, so that's something that I've learned to live with. These are things that I can't change, and that bodily acceptance, that body positivity, I think is important. No one should ever feel that just because their body is in a certain situation, they should feel ashamed. Now, like in the case of a person who may think that they're unhealthy with where their body's at, and they start to exercise and things like that. Now that they may think to themselves, well, that'll help me get healthier, or whatever, and that's their choice. But nobody should ever feel ashamed necessarily. At least this is my opinion. Nobody should ever feel ashamed for how their body looks. Now let's take that another step farther. Right now, at the time of this recording, we are living in a time called Pride Month. Pride Month is a time of celebrating the LGBTQ plus community, and which includes the lesbian, gay, trans, queer, plus two-spirited, every asexuals, all the different parts of that group, and there's all of that. And of course, there's always the idea that they're born this way. That these are people who know who they are. They don't fit the standard, if you will, of the world. But there is, and regardless of how you feel about it in general, there's still an inconsistent thing that I'm seeing, regardless of whether you think that it's right or wrong, and that is the idea of changing your body when it comes to the trans movement. Now, body positivity says that you should accept your body for who you are. Now, again, there's some things that just, I could go through all sorts of plastic surgery and do all sorts of things and probably cause myself more harm than good, and sort of change myself a little bit. And I can get this extremely painful surgery that raises my height by about 2 inches or whatever, At least that's something I've heard of online. Who knows if it's actually real? But that's not really going to change anything. And we're told that if you're overweight, you should be happy with the body that you have. You may want to lose weight, but you should not be upset with the body that you have. You should be willing to accept the body that you have. I've got all these problems physically that I have, but I have to. But it's important that I accept the body that I have. I shouldn't hate the body that I've been given. I was born in this body, and I will always have just this body as long as I live. And yet, so many are told that if you identify as, a girl, and you have what is considered the body of a boy, or you identify as a boy and you have the body of a girl, that somehow you're not supposed to accept that body. Or if you don't feel as though you fit either, or you feel as though you have both, that somehow you have to change that body. This includes going through extreme changes, such as girls removing their breasts and boys removing their lower regions, if you will. Girls getting, I think they're called phalloplasties, or I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. Basically getting the artificial reproductive organs of a boy, and boys fashioning into the reproductive organ of a girl, and things like that. And all these things that they go through, carving up their body for the sake of trying to fit in with what is supposedly the wrong body. Now, again, I don't know what it's like to be in a position where I feel like I'm in the wrong body, necessarily. But if we are truly going to live in an era in which we accept our bodies for who they are, if you are someone who identifies as a girl, but you're in what is a man's body, then you should be willing to accept that you are in a man's body. You can still identify as those things, but there's no reason to want to change the body that you're born in. And if you're a boy who's in a girl's body, there's no reason to carve yourself up just to try to fit into what is the trend of trying to have a body that is different than what you identify as. And this is mostly going toward the children, the small ones who essentially end up going through puberty blockers that halts and stops the process that would otherwise happen. And when they would ordinarily, naturally go through these hormonal changes, the medicines that they give them and the things that they inject them with ends up stunting, halting, and in fact, completely ending that process, so that again they can fit into a mold of being more suited to their identity. But again, if we're to follow the idea of bodily acceptance, then there's no reason to do that to your body. Regardless of whether you feel as though you're one gender or multiple genders, or gender fluid, or no gender at all, there's no reason to literally destroy your body to fit a societal mold of what is considered the transgender way. Because the truth of the matter is, all of us are going to have to try to find a way, if you will, to be comfortable in our own skin, be comfortable in our own bodies. And that starts by accepting who you are, accepting the body that you were born in. If we're to look at the rules of gender, so to speak, you know, as the LGBTQ plus world goes, why would you have to change your body to fit the gender that you identify with? And again, I'm not in your shoes. I get that. I'm not in your body. I'm in my body, and I have to live with my body. But as a person who has struggled with accepting the body that I have, I can tell you that life has a lot more peace when you're willing to accept yourself for the body that you were made into. When you accept yourself for who you are, for what you are. Again, you may identify as a girl in a boy's body, but the truth of the matter is you have a boy's body. And you may be a boy in a girl's body. Or you know, a boy in a girl's body, but you're still in a girl's body. And so I can tell you from, again, not the exact same thing that you're going through, but as a person who has struggled with living in my body, the greatest happiness you will ever have in your life is not trying to change and carve up and if I can say, mutilate the body that you've been given. The best place of peace you can ever find is to find peace with the body that you have. And so with that, I hope this video has been helpful, and I hope you have a great day.